bearded legend, Joe, back in the studio for the third time. Got Ian Lepkowsky here joining us.
Pleasure.
You've been doing the alien hieroglyphics, is your brand for quite some time now, I guess.
A little over a year now,
I was going to say at least a year. How'd you get involved in that, or how'd you get that idea to...
So kind of funny, I was up at school at SUNY Albany, and one day I went to a street fair on Lark Street. It was called Lark Fest.
Right.
So they have like music, bunch of street vendors, and one of them was a psychic. And I was like, oh, let me check this out, do the whole tarot thing. And like somewhere in the stuff he was telling me, he's like, oh, like, you know, there's like a language inside of you waiting to come out. Like you got to get into art. And I really wasn't into art, but he was super insistent on it. And he literally grabbed the canvas that he had and a tube of paint and handed it to me and was like, here, paint the canvas and then just fill it up with something. I was like, all right, you know what I mean? Like, so I took it home, then I kind of used to doodle on the sides of my notebook, and I was like, all right, I guess I could do something abstract, like with shapes kind of thing. Like I would always do that with a pen.
Right.
And then I translated it onto the canvas, so the tube he gave me was black, so I did the whole thing black. Found these like old gel pens that I had that like were metallic and looked kind of like good against the black. Pen thing with like shapes that I did in my notebook, and that was the first one. And then I kind of just kept going from there with that kind of same like free flow, just kind of go with the flow, like, you know, because I was like, what am I supposed to draw? He's like, just whatever, you know, whatever you do. Don't you write somewhere you never draw? I was like, I don't know, I just scribble on my notebook. He's like, that. I was like, all right. So I went with that, and then I kind of just liked it. I liked the way it looked. I liked the way it looked with the paint, not just like with the pen. And I just kept going with it, and eventually started putting on like clothes, mugs, you know, all that type of stuff.
Yeah, so it was more like a doodle that kind of like started it off.
Yeah.
Like, and then from there you kind of focused on what you thought felt right or what looked cool.
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
I just remember seeing the picture with the model chick that you had with the bathing suit on. I mean, like, obviously that doesn't hurt to grab your attention, but like then I actually saw that it was, you know, because I was distracted, then I saw that it was like some cool design that she had on or whatever, and I was like, oh shit, that actually works with like, you know, the design and everything like that. So I just thought that was cool.
I actually reached out to her because she was someone who had been posting pictures like near Long Beach, and I was in Long Beach, and I was like, oh, like, you know what? Like, I bet I could send her an outfit, and, you know, it would look dope if she modeled it. Like, I wonder if she would do it just for the outfit, because I don't have a huge budget, but I could send her the outfit for free. And she was down with that, so that worked out, definitely.
That's what's amazing about social media is, like, you have someone who's like a you know, good-looking person, but then you also have a talent side, and, like, when the forces come together, you end up with, like, you know, your product actually getting out there to people that you wouldn't have expected it to get out there to. And
yeah, exactly, because she's got a totally different audience that I already had going into it, so then that's going to get exposure there.
Exactly. It's funny the way things work and like develop and, you know, start spitballing and keep going, and now it's at this point where you've been involved with it for over a year, like you said, which is pretty damn hard to do, I guess, with especially clothing and shit. Sorry, I didn't mean to snub you and not ask you about
I'm chilling,
anything
bro.
thus
It's
far.
cool.
How was your trip out to Cali?
It was
Grimfest.
dope. It was fun. Fucking, you know, every time I go, it's like I stay there for way too short of a time, but had fun and fucking met some cool new people, chill with, you know, a bunch of people I already know and love, and hell yeah, I can't wait to go back again.
Hell yeah.
It was a success. Met people, you know, were showing love there, and, you know, there's some videos. I think there's gonna be more videos coming out. Maybe a music video.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe.
The whole Grim crew together.
Uh-huh.
I didn't see any performance with the three of you guys thus far, but the one video of you performing.
My thoughts exactly.
Okay, I was gonna say a different song title that I knew.
There are some clips, I think. Maybe like on my Instagram, I have like a highlight shit.
Yeah.
With like stuff from Grimfest LA. I think there were some clips of us, all three of us doing it. But there were only 2 songs that all three of us performed on. So, you know, we kind of just like mixed it up. Like we did 2 with all three of us, and then like 2 with each of us on it, you know, and then like a couple solo ones each, so it's like scattered out.
Yeah.
We're just hyping each other up. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
You have anything upcoming that, or that was that's off the
Not
list,
that I
so now
know
you're
of,
just
yeah,
chilling for a
now
little
I'm
bit.
chilling. I do everything like that, like, you know, I've been offered like to do certain things, but nothing's like solid yet, so I'm not gonna get anybody's hopes up and like start dropping ideas and possibilities because I don't know. But
Yeah, no, totally.
yeah, there's some shit, but nothing solid right now. No, I'm just
Alright.
chilling.
That well, that's a good lead-in at least.
Yeah.
I asked you guys both to come on tonight just because tomorrow we're doing the show June 12th right now, and tomorrow, Thursday, June 13th, is the 10-year anniversary of our good friend Phil Levy. He passed away much too soon, and I just
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
like time has flown by way too fast.
Way too fast, dude.
And I don't know. He's on my mind a lot. I know you think about him a lot. And
Yeah.
I mean, growing up in Levittown, you know, on Long Island, you kind of get to know people. Even if you're not like tight with them, you get to kind of, you know, feel that like, you know, weird emptiness when that person passes. Because
yeah.
if you didn't know them, you had that like, you know, 7 degrees of separation kind of thing
Yeah.
where it's like
Mm-hmm.
you knew someone that was super tight with them. So it's like, to hear, like this person's, you know, been gone 10 years now. It's like,
Nah,
what?
dude. And especially him, he was kind of tight with everybody. So everybody kind of knew him. You didn't even need like any degree of separation. It's like, oh yeah, I know him from something, you know, like
Yeah.
because he would just like talk to you, like you're there. He's like, hey, what's up, you know, and be like,
He used to wander into my Spanish class. He wasn't in my Spanish class, but he frequently was in my Spanish class because he
Yeah.
would be walking in the hallway and he knew a bunch of people in the class, would stop by, talk to the teacher, walk in, make a few jokes, just walk back out.
Yeah.
That was how he was, you know,
So
I'm
that's-
like,
exactly.
And not a lot of people can like get away with something like
Yeah.
that, especially when you're in high school. Like
he
teachers,
got away with it most of the time. Yeah.
teachers are annoying. I mean, like I get it now. Being an adult, like looking back, like I could see why they were trying to like, you know, be structured or whatever. But for someone like Phil, like he just got everyone's respect. I feel like from the start, and
Yeah.
like people just enjoyed his company and his presence. So
Hell yeah.
he was able to pull something like that. If I tried to do that, I would have been kicked out immediately.
Yeah.
So then, no, that's really nice to hear. I was just talking to Joe before we started. This one Blink 182 album always reminds me of him because when I was at his house back in like 3rd or 4th grade, can't remember what year it was specifically. It was like 2001, something like that. But remember him putting on that "Take Off Your Pants
and
and
Jacket,
Jacket" album.
Good album.
And yeah, I mean, like anytime I hear it, like even to this day, like it brings me back to like thinking about that, and it's just amazing that like something like that can remind you of, you know,
Yeah.
something that
Hell
happened
yeah.
so like long ago. Like
Music
that is-
especially, yeah.
yeah, well, music is like the best thing. That's why like I always have him on the show because, I mean, like music is like my life, and I mean I don't listen to a lot of rap, but to like have someone that has good things to say about music and like is living their life through music and, you know, succeeding, like that's always like cool to talk about. But again, like I had you guys on tonight just because you guys both kind of like radiate positivity, and I feel like, you know, if I'm going to be talking about like a friend that I had lost and whatever else, like why not have people that are like, you know, spreading positive messages? Like I saw you had posted something on Instagram a couple days ago, just like a positive message.
Yeah.
I don't remember specifically what it was because you've done that a couple of times.
Yeah, every so often I'll do that. Last one I think was just reminder, glass half empty, glass half full kind of thing. It's always, you know, on you how you want to look at it.
Exactly.
And then I didn't even put this in the thing, but I always thought too, like, people always say half empty, half full. Like, it could literally be 25% water, 75% empty. And still, it's up to you whether you go, that's a cup that's 3/4 empty or 25% full. Like,
Yeah.
even if it's not half, like, that's still on you. And that's, you know, that's a choice,
It's
what
true.
you say it as. Either way, it's the same thing, but you got to make a decision.
That's a really good
Are you
point.
positive or are you looking at the lack? Like,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like you said, like some people look at it and like, damn, I'm running out, and other
Yep.
people be like, well, shit, at least there's something left, you know, like, you
100%.
got something in there.
I got something
that's
to
how
work
I
with.
try to look at it.
Yeah.
No, it's true, man.
Yeah.
Everything.
I
Still
mean,
got
like,
some water.
social media is such a random, like, thing in our lives, but, like, to just be scrolling through and seeing the same old bullshit, and then to see, like, a post from you about something like that, like, that makes me forget that I'm, like, you know, on my phone fucking around while
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be working. and just kind of changes my perspective, at least for that day, like to, you know, stay positive and like remember whatever the underlying message is, and like that shit just like keeps you going through. The same way that I know like you're not really big into like drinking or like getting fucked up or anything like that, which is awesome. And I mean, like on days like I don't know, like Thanksgiving Eve or like New Year's Eve, you'll always put out a message like don't drink and drive, like be safe out there. Like that's just a random example, but like I feel like you're the same way when it comes to social media. Like you have like that radiance about like just being like positive and like not making people feel good rather than, you know, being like, fuck this dude, I'm gonna unfollow him.
Well, especially too is like what I do, like, you know, the more people that look at my pages or listen to my music and shit, it's like you're already getting hit from every fucking angle with like people, you know, talking about, you know, dumb shit being cool, like, you know, just getting fucked up or blowing money and fucking violent ass shit. And I'm just like, listen, like, a lot of people too, they kind of fake that type of shit just to like get people to pay attention. But it's like, I don't even want to fake it. I don't like it, you know, like, so I like being that type of person that people can like look at my shit and be like, oh shit, like, damn, he's not like doing nothing stupid, he's just chilling.
Exactly.
You know, he's like wishing me like good luck. He's not telling me to like go like get fucked up and speed into a fucking brick wall, you know, like, nah, like, I don't want people doing bad shit or dumb shit. And like, especially that, like, obviously I care about the people that are drinking themselves, but in those situations, it's like, no offense, but like, I'm also more concerned aren't drunk driving, ended up getting smashed by you or some shit, and then like you're fine
That's
and
the
they're
worst part
not,
of it.
you know, so it's like, don't drink and drive, at least for that. You might not care about yourself, even though you should, but you might not anyway. But at least care about like other people around you, because like that's how it always goes down, bro. Like, remember those like assemblies in school? It's always the dude coming in to talk, and he's like, yeah, I was driving like 4 people, I survived, everyone died. And it was like, damn, dude, like, don't do that. Like, when you tell me not to do that, now, like, it's gonna stick with me for the rest of my life to never do that. Like, that's fucked.
And people always downplay like how precious life can be at times too. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so and so drinks and drives all the time. Like, I'll be fine.
Yeah,
you know, like no, don't fucking do it. You know what I mean? Like that's the point. But I get what you're saying. You're not like, you're saying it to like spread the message to these people, but also to really be like, no, like you're fucking up, you know? Like,
it's not cool.
Exactly. That's the main point. Like, don't do that.
Like, hurting people's not cool.
Like, exactly.
It's just not.
Exactly. No, of course not.
Exactly.
But yeah, I just like like any time that you can see something like that, especially where like everyone's negative on social media, like to see something like that just kind of like puts you in a better mindset to like not fuck up.
Yeah.
And just like I'll remember, like me specifically, I'll remember back to that and like crush a water anytime I'm like drinking, just because it's like,
just remember,
you know,
even to not drink and drive, like you also don't get a fucking headache, bro. Like,
exactly.
just crush that water, just not to have a headache.
Exactly.
Because like even social media too, like it's a lot of negativity and also just a lot of self-absorbed shit. So like it's easy especially if you do entertainment shit or something, to like be like, oh, look at what I'm doing, you know. But like I also like to remember too, like, hey, like, I'm not going to make, you know, you see a lot of people just saying, like, I accomplished this and I did that. And it's like every now and then you could tell people, like, hey, you should do something cool too, or just say you're proud of them. You know, I've talked to a few people specifically recently to tell them, like, hey, I'm proud of what you're doing. Like, after they've, you know, some before they told me they like what I do, or some after, they'd be like, hey, man, I've been seeing what you're doing and, like, it's awesome. I'd be like, yo, I've been watching you too. Like, you know, fuck what I'm doing. Like, what you're doing's dope too. It doesn't matter that it's not the same type of shit. Like, you know, like even if it's just a personal accomplishment, it doesn't need to be like, hey, you know, I make music, or someone that's like an actor, or, you know, sells clothes or some shit. Like somebody's just like, hey, fucking, damn, I lost like 10 pounds. I feel great. It's like, nice, dude. Like, keep it up, you know?
Well, and you're not doing it to be fake either. Like, you guys are actually saying shit because, like, this is what you think, and, like, this is how you feel. You know?
I think that all the time, especially being someone who's looking to promote a clothing line or, like, a website. You know, you get in this mindset of, all right, I want people to like what I'm doing. I want people to comment on what I'm doing. I want people to, you know, get on board and join the team, whatever. And then it makes you think, do I even do that for other people? Like, I'm trying to get people to do this. What am I like? And then you got to think like, oh yeah, like if I'm trying to even get people on board with me, like I got to rethink the way I even look at everything. I'm not on board with everything that everyone's doing. I should be more the way I want people to be towards me, because I'm all about that practice what you preach. I'm not trying to say one thing and do the opposite. So if I'm trying to get people to support me, I got to make sure, well, who are the people that first and foremost I should be supporting that are in my network? Exactly. And then I've been reaching out. Same thing he's been saying, like, bro, this is dope, or like, you know, I really support this, or I'll share this. Look, this guy's doing this, because that's what I want. I gotta, you know, you gotta give and get and be part of the community.
Exactly. People don't get that though. I mean, like,
some don't.
Like you were saying, yeah. I mean, like, people are self-absorbed, and I mean, like, in that sense, like, whatever's gonna make them do better, like, they don't even see that, like, you know, maybe if I help this person out, not that you're trying to do it to advance yourself, but like, it's just like, you know, I always say like good karma and whatever else. I mean, like that, it's true. You know, I mean, like, just do something good for people. It's not going to cost you anything. You know, like.
Well, and also you're not gonna get that if it's not genuine. You're not gonna get that good return to you. You know, if you're just doing it to further yourself, like, again, people might be like, okay, bro, but like, I'm gonna say it, the fucking universe, bro, it knows what's going down. Like, if you're doing it, if you're doing it on some fake ass shit, that's how it's gonna come back to you. If you're doing it genuine, the fucking universe and whatever powers that be, whatever fate, destiny type shit that goes on, will be like, listen, we know that you're like real about this shit, so that's how it's gonna come back to you, yo. Like, and if you're fake as fuck, that's gonna come back to you that way too. People are gonna be talking behind your back. You know, like, yo, congrats, fuck that guy, you know?
I'm not gonna lie though, like, sometimes I'll do shit for, like, you know, the goodness of others, but like, it just pisses me off if, like, you know, I feel like I'm just still getting shit luck and like nothing good is happening to me, but I'm like Mr. Positivity everywhere else.
It's a normal
like,
human thing.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's also like in your own head, you know, like you gotta like
get
stay
over
like
it, bro.
that's what I was gonna say.
Thing,
like,
yo,
don't let it beat
cool.
you up. You know,
I
mean, like, everything is a mindset, and I mean, like, you just gotta have that positive mental attitude.
100%. I think, you know, it's your personal brand of what you put out there. So obviously, like you're saying, it's a human reaction to get frustrated. But when I get frustrated, I always try to think, how much cooler of an image would I think of myself if I was that dude that stuff just rolls off and I don't get frustrated. Yeah. So obviously, I mean, I might feel frustrated, but every time I try to remind myself, like, it's really not about that. It's not about getting frustrated. It's just about, like, I should be the person that I think is the coolest dude, and that dude is super positive and not getting caught up in that. So I'm like, keep trying to be that.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's exactly that.
I try. I mean, like, in some senses, like, I'll see someone that is kind of cool in that sense. I always go back to the whole Joe Rogan thing because I feel like he's super humble. Cool. Like, even the Jon Stewart thing from today with how they like immediately passed the 9/11 thing for the people compensation. Just like, I mean, like, before I even like comment on anything or whatever else, I try to like inform myself and try to see what's going on there and delve deeper into it and kind of like dig, like you were saying about like, is this really what I believe in?
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
And like that's always like self-evaluation is a huge thing too. Like, for myself, like, anytime I feel bad, like, I'm like, all right, well, am I doing the things that I like set, you know, goals for myself to like accomplish? Then there's nothing to beat yourself up about. You know, I mean, like, you're doing just fine. You know, I mean, like,
keep moving forward.
The biggest competition's with yourself, but keep yourself grounded. Keep yourself like I said, set goals and shit. But beyond that, I mean, like, sometimes you can't compare yourselves to others.
No,
because
you shouldn't ever, dude. You just really the biggest problem is like you got to be patient. Like, again, like, especially like music shit. You see somebody in the beginning, the first few years, I was like, fuck, you know, like you see these like dumbass people like blowing up and getting their shit out there and getting all this attention and all this praise and shit and all this money and shit after like fucking 6 months to a year, and they're doing some dumbass shit that like anybody can. You know, from a technical standpoint, not just me sounding cocky or somebody sounding whatever, like, just, you know, you go into a studio and say some dumbass shit, like, anybody could do that.
Exactly.
And you dress a certain way. Anybody could put on that shit and, like, do that if you have the right backing, you know? But you just have to remember, like, hey, man, everybody's shit is different. And, like, the way I look at it now, it's like, you know what? you know, I think I've said it in past shit, but like, it's like, you know what? It's really good that I didn't blow up 3 years ago, because I wouldn't have handled it the right way. I would have been fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And now as I'm sitting here, the way I think of it as the longer it takes, the more I'm learning along the way. And then once all the shit that, you know, I'm aiming to get comes to me, I'm going to be fucking chilling, like good chilling. Like not like, I don't know what to do, or like, this is too much. Like, no, I'm going to I already have like the way I want to do things in my head, like planned out. Like, and I thought I did a few years ago, and maybe a few years from now I'll be like, shit, I'm glad it took a little longer because I had some more shit to figure out, you know? But everything takes time, and the more you compare yourself to other people, the more it's just going to fuck you up, because, like, everybody's shit is different. Like, it's going to be different. Like,
I'm definitely guilty of it, but I, like...
Everybody, dude, like, all the time. Like, even with, like, even with a podcast, again, it's a thing. Like, the things that we do, clothes, music, like your podcast, like, that's stuff to easily look at other people and feel like shit, you know? It's like, fuck, like, how the fuck does this guy get this person to wear this shit, or this guy to listen to this music, or this person to, like, watch a podcast? They ain't talking about nothing important. Like, what the fuck? You know, like, it's easy to do that, but you just gotta keep doing your thing and not think of, like, fuck it. Like,
a lot of it's consistency, too.
Yeah.
You guys know Gary Vee at all, or not? Gary Vaynerchuk?
I don't know. That sounds familiar. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Big entrepreneur, pretty popular among like the whatever entrepreneur community right now, but he started off like when YouTube first came out, his parents owned a wine store, and he just went straight to YouTube and started this thing called like Wine Library TV, where like every day or every week or whatever he was doing, he just kept going on and talking about wine until he like blew up to like this huge like wine star of like YouTube, and was like international wine sales, like started a website, all this crazy stuff. And now he owns a company called Vayner Media. He's like doing a campaign for like K-Swiss. Every other day he's like having meetings with like rappers and like other like major people in the world doing interviews. And he always talks about, he's like, yo, you gotta eat shit. He's like, I ate shit for 10 years. He's like, every day, like, I was the kid that when my friends were out partying, I was like selling wine, like at my parents' store. I was making videos about wine. Like, I wasn't going on vacation. I wasn't doing anything but grinding. And now I'm a millionaire, and he wants to, like, you know, eventually make enough money to buy the jets, got like huge ambition. But like, he came from, you know, his family was a family of immigrants. They didn't have a lot of money. His mom couldn't buy him a Jets jersey. She had to like knit it for him. Like, you know, and that's where he came from. And he says all the time it's about falling in love with the process and being consistent, because at some point when someone finds you and they look at what you did before they saw you, do you have something there or not, and how much do you have? And if it's this massive thing, it could be like that if it's the right person and suddenly they're putting you on and you blow up. So it's like hitting that consistency without getting frustrated and without falling out of love with the process of doing what you're doing. Like, less being in love with the goal, more in love with the process of like whatever makes the goal happen.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you think that like he just had that right mindset, or just like trial and error to the point where he just, like you said, he kept grinding and grinding till he found out the right way to do it, and that kind of...
Yeah, I think for him it's a combination. He also, you know, got onto YouTube right when YouTube was getting hot, and so he had, I guess, that sort of advantage. But people get huge on YouTube every day. Like, I don't know if you guys heard of PewDiePie or whatever.
Yeah, of course.
Like, you know what I mean? He just came out of nowhere, and now he's like one of the biggest, like, highest paid YouTube stars. So. But what did he do? Kind of same way. You know, I don't know his story as well, but I've just looked back on what he did and read a little bit about him. Just consistently made videos for a while. No one cared at all. And then somehow he just like caught fire. So I do think like, yeah, some of it is like luck, chance, but the way you outplay luck and chance is grinding every day, having that consistency, putting things out there, and like you said, trying different things. Like, he didn't just do one thing. I mean, if you look into him, you know, he's huge. He's done so many different things, sold things, like trying to always capture where's people attention, trying to go on like Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever it is. But yeah, it's the persistence, the grind, and like you said, being versatile.
Hell yeah, dude.
That is, I've definitely heard of him before. But
he's dope, man. You want to hear like positive people? I get a lot of my steam from him.
I love hearing like uplifting stories like that, especially like people that came from like kind of, you know, challenged backgrounds or whatever. That like, anyone who comes from money and
he
is
doesn't have that
successful,
easy like
your
just
typical
fell
like
into
Donald
it.
Trump,
Small
like that,
loan of $1 million.
Yeah.
He didn't have one of those.
Meanwhile, it's like 8 million or 9 million or something like that. Really, it wasn't even a million. Well, even so, that's my point. I mean, like he's like the spitting image of someone that like I would not want to be like and be successful. You know, I'd rather have that.
You want to grind
story.
You want to have that
something to be proud of.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because you did it yourself. There's nothing like that when you do it yourself.
Exactly.
Like, shit. It's another thing to appreciate too. Like, but again, it takes more time when you do it yourself. When you don't have someone throwing money at you or throwing connections at you, it's like, it's like, well, fuck. Like once you get to that top spot and people are like, yo, you're dope, I'm proud of you. It's like, shit, me too. Like I know. I'm like, I did it. Like,
yeah.
I've honestly had that thought before too, and you kind of said this of like, oh man, I'm kind of glad I didn't blow up yet or something.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'm thought like, damn it, yo, why didn't I just bump into The Rock and he just put on one of my shirts and it got huge? And then I think like, and then there's like you said, things you learned along the way. And I'm like, yo, if that happened a year ago, I wouldn't have figured out this, and this, which are like smaller steps to kind of do it myself, like, and feel like I have more accomplishments behind me for what I did instead of I kind of just got lucky. And then you feel like, like I don't want to just blow up just because I bumped into The Rock. I didn't do everything I could personally do yet. There's more growth from me.
Exactly.
I gotta still get bigger. Like,
and there's so much shit. Like, again, you don't want to learn a lot of things. Like, if you get thrown in the spotlight or just blow up mad fast, like you're gonna have to learn so much shit with that extra pressure, and it's gonna fuck you up. That's why people turn to doing destructive things to themselves or others, or they end up falling off or having breakdowns.
Yeah, we're not ready for all that.
Because, you're not ready. Whereas, you're going slow and steady now and you're learning shit. And it's like once that pressure hits you, it's like, I'm ready, bro. Like, I've been fucking doing this shit. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, you want me to do this? All right. Oh, you want me to do that? I don't want to. Fuck you. And by that point, though, like, if you blow up right away, you might be a yes man and saying yes to everything, You might be like, yeah, you gotta take these opportunities, But, like, again, learning and taking your time, you'll know, like, nah, it's not smart. Like, keep doing my thing. Chilling. That's it. Like, fuck. It's actually a lot better that way. You might not think it at the beginning, especially, like, when you are trying to make money and shit and, like, get by, like, living in, the world. In fucking modern society. But, like, you just got to keep it, like, in your head, like, nah, this is, like, the right way to do it because it'll pay off so much better. Like, the longer it takes, the better it'll pay off. As long as you're paying attention, though. Like, because then there are also people that do shit for, like, 10 years and just don't get the picture. And just like, fuck, why am I not blowing up? And it's like...
Yeah, self-awareness is a huge piece.
You aren't, like, progressing. You're doing the same fucking thing. Like, that's not going to get you anywhere, too. Like, you have to learn as you go. Like, damn.
Do you think that environment and where you spend your, like, everyday life kind of affects how you'll react to certain situations like that too? Like, I work at this place and a lot of times it's busy with a lot of people trying to do their own shows and whatever, and people are just negative and nasty, and a lot of times I'll find myself, like, I went home last week and I was in like the worst mood and I was going crazy for no reason, and then when I got home I'm like, why am I being like this? But it was just because, like, people were just being, like, disrespectful all day,
just fucking your shit up,
and like that just throws me off of my, like, specific, like, mojo or whatever you want to call
That's
it. Like,
a thing
that
for
fucks
sure.
me up.
It's a thing for sure. That who you're around and the people, again, like, your environment just in general, like, that can teach you a lot too, just to know, how to handle that type of shit. Like, and that's a harsh thing too for people who do get shit handed to them, like, that don't start from the bottom and have to deal with all the bullshit. Like, if you get thrown into something and you just start succeeding right away, you're a little naive and shit, and you're not, like, used to, like, people shitting on you. Like, that's not, you need to be used to that, because, like, there are many good people in the world, but, like, again, when it comes to business and money and shit like that, being, handed around and fucking whatever, talked about and shit, people are going to be pieces of shit. And it's just like, basically, even people that may be nice outside of it, it's like, oh, hey, I met this dude and he likes my music, like, he was really cool. And then, like, they want to do business with you, and it's like, wow, he's trying to fuck me over. Like, that's why he was being cool, because he wants me to be his friend, and then he's going to fuck me. Like, shit, I don't want to get fucked, like.
Exactly.
So you got to, like, it's kind of better to be in a shitty environment because then you prepare yourself better, Like you said, you make yourself aware, like, why am I mad right now?
Yeah.
And then you start to realize it's just, what I'm surrounded by. And then as you're surrounded by it, you learn to just brush it off more and more. Like he said, too, like, have shit just go over your head and just be that cool guy who's just like, I don't care. Like,
Build that mental muscle.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that. I heard this quote by, I think it was Bruce Lee. I think he said something like, if you let a man affect your mood, like he beat you. Or
Yeah.
something.
I don't know if that's Bruce Lee or whatever, but I know that quote. I live by that every single
It's
day.
something
Life's
along the
about
lines
being
of that.
happy, and if someone pisses you off, you just lost.
Exactly.
To them. Like,
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So if you're someone who has enough ego to want to win things sometimes, you know what I mean? You got a little drive in you, you like winning.
Yeah.
Don't lose to these damn people. You
Exactly.
hate those people? Don't fucking lose to them.
Exactly.
Don't let them take your happiness. Like, you got your happiness, they're fucking jacking it from you.
That
Like,
shit
don't let
always
them
regrounds me.
rob you of that.
Exactly. I mean, like, when I remember that, then I'm just like, oh yeah, that's right. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's they don't matter to me.
No.
I mean, and beyond that, like, they're not going to help me get any better, or they're not going to make me any happier. So, I mean, like, in that sense, like, why am I going to, like, when I ride my bike, I almost got hit by a car earlier when I was riding here, and, like, some dude that, like, was driving the car rolls down his window, was like, fuck you, whatever else, and I just kept my headphones on and kept riding.
Yeah.
But, like,
Alright.
like, sometimes, like, if I'm in a bad mood, I'll, like, take my headphones off and be like, what's good, you know?
Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
like,
but
lately I've been kind of like more and more, especially like in the last 6 months, like pushing myself to just like not let that shit get to me. And like you were just saying, like the mental muscle, like just use that shit. Like
100%.
dude. Push
Another
that shit
quote
past you.
too, I have no idea who said this, but someone said, if you're fed by their compliments, you'll be starved by their silence.
Yeah.
So it's not even just not letting the bad get to you, it's having that whole perspective of literally not caring at all to a certain extent what other people think. You know, beyond self-awareness, you know, like if people think you fucking stink, you haven't showered in 10 days, you know what I mean? Not like that, but I'm saying like, you know, whether people like you or don't like you, don't get too wrapped up in that's what you're dependent on. Keep it more, you know, that self-reflective, taking in all the perspectives. You know, does the majority of what I'm coming back, you know, is there anything that I have to react to because it's dangerous? Like people tell me, dude, you fucking stink.
Yeah.
Or is it just like, all right, this guy doesn't like this, but you know, who knows why he thinks that? Do I have to take that seriously? Nah.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I find myself like always comparing my like social media like likes and comments and that, and then I'll be like, why the fuck am I talking about that? Like, what am I not making money off this? Like, this shit ain't paying my rent. Like, I'd move on, you know? Like, and then I'm like, why am I even on social media? And then I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, I want to get my shit out there.
Get it out.
But I think it's
The
just,
balance.
as I was just about to say, it's the balance between like, all right, well, I want my exposure, but because it's, you know, it's like free PR, but at the same point in time, once it's out there, like, you know, set it and forget it, you know, just leave it, you know? So that's something that I just constantly have to remind myself. But social media is just a huge thing for everyone that, like,
Yeah, dude.
especially, like, the people that are, you know, influencers and whatever else that, like,
Fucking models.
live their life by how many likes they literally get.
Yeah.
And, like, I mean, like, that's no way to live. And, I mean, like, you know.
Speaking of that, I just saw, and I'm sorry, I can't source all these things. I don't know who this was. Someone will find it. But some girl that was an Instagram like influencer tried to come out with her own brand, and to even get the company that was going to sponsor her to like get it off the ground, she had to sell 36 items of whatever it was.
I saw that.
And she had like whatever 1 million followers, whatever it was. She couldn't move 36 of her own thing, and she was like devastated. But that shows you that dichotomy of like aesthetic versus people actually supporting you. Like, nah, it's a cool look. People like your look. They like you in that brand, that whatever you're sporting, but they don't like you. That not even 36 people. Like,
Exactly.
Wild.
That was
That was kind of mind blowing.
That was
36
huge.
is not a big number
I
in my
sell
mind.
36.
That's what
And
I'm
I'd be
saying.
thinking like,
I don't
damn,
think it's
nobody
so
wants
many.
to buy my shit. But it's like, damn, I don't have close to 1 million followers.
Right.
So I would be.
It was something like it
down
was
as
crazy. It was
fuck
like 100,000 million, whatever it was, and she
Yeah,
couldn't
even that,
move
yeah.
36. Like way more than me, and she, you know.
At that point, though, like I would be like door to door or some shit. I'd be like, buy
Yeah.
my shit, you know, like, damn, 36.
Just get friends and family, whatever, you know, whatever it was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
May
and
29th,
it wasn't
influencer with
working.
2 million followers.
2
couldn't
million.
sell 36 t-shirts.
There we go.
And the internet is coming for her.
Crazy.
But yeah, I mean, like shit like
insane,
that.
dude.
Like, I mean, your whole.
You know, so you're saying, oh, this person's got more likes. What does that mean? Maybe nothing.
No.
You're right, though. I mean, like, what are they really?
This girl
What are they
doesn't mean
famous
so
for?
much apparently. Didn't mean what she wanted.
Having
to.
a lot of followers. I mean, like, they really have nothing. Like, at least you have music to fall back on. At least you have, you know, your designs and your passion for that to fall back on. But like, her thing is just like, if Instagram crashes, she's got nothing to do. You know?
I mean,
like,
is she hot?
I don't think it.
I mean, she don't even have to be.
I was just about to say that. I don't think it really matters because I know plenty of people that are not attractive. That
If
have
I was
way
an
more followers than
Instagram
me.
model, I would most definitely, if I was an Instagram model and then like Instagram wasn't a thing anymore, as a guy or a girl, I would be like, fuck it. Like, people like looking at me here, I'm gonna just strip or some shit. Like, you make mad money. If that's all you want, just money, and you don't have nothing else that you can do or want to do, then just like do the same thing you did online except in person. You know, like, fuck it, here's my ass. You know, like,
No, I mean, it's
or
the
like,
truth,
dudes,
though.
my abs. Like, unless
That's their
whatever.
talent. I mean,
Unless
like
you're into that.
getting people to look at them.
No,
you
no
know.
worries.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
social media is just a weird
It is
concept.
weird.
I mean, especially the fact that we grew up without cell phones and
Oh, hell yeah.
Originally,
all
yeah.
that stuff. Yeah, I mean,
beginning.
but long enough where, like, you know.
Yeah,
it
where some
didn't
people
affect your
had
childhood.
it the whole time.
Think about. I was just gonna say that. Think about kids now that like just are. You know, they have the tablets. From
Yeah, I still rode my bike places to see if my
Fuck
friends were
yeah.
there.
Exactly. Call
Well,
people's
my-
house phones.
I
and shit.
still was part of that.
The cell
Exactly.
phone was just like to tell your mom and dad that you needed a ride or
Yeah.
some shit because it was like a fucking
Or if you got like
Nokia.
kidnapped or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have never.
It was more about that.
Exactly. I would have never
Snake.
thought that I
Yeah,
spent
exactly,
most
dude.
of my time on my phone or
Yeah.
whatever. Not that I
Well, our
like to
phones
admit
didn't do
that.
shit,
but
yeah. Like,
there
I
was no
remember
internet and shit.
how
It was
big
just
a
Snake.
deal it was when
Exactly.
like you can get like real music as a ringtone on like the like singular flip phones or whatever they were, whatever brand, AT&T, whatever.
That was big.
And it was like, damn, I got like fucking 5 seconds of my favorite fucking, you know, Baja Man Who Let the Dogs Out. Call me, bro. Check this out. And it's like, oh shit. You know, texting was a pain in the ass because you had to hit like the fucking same button 3
Multiple
times.
Yeah.
times, yeah.
It was like,
Kids
damn.
don't know about that at all.
exactly.
This
And
same
that
button
it was
3
like
times.
that up
That's so
until
funny.
we were in high school and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even have a phone that took a picture until I was like 19. I feel like, you know?
Exactly. My first
It was
smartphone
like
was
a
when I got into
BlackBerry or
college.
some shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, you know, we did have phones growing up. I got my first cell phone I think when I was like 13 or 12. So like 2003, 2002, and it was a Nokia. And again, it wasn't shit. It was like a brick phone that like you'd be better off just beating somebody with than
Exactly.
calling your parents for help. It's like,
Yeah.
my dad. It's like, damn, this reception sucks. I'm gonna beat this guy with my fucking phone. But like, nah, that didn't really affect anything, you know, like, because you couldn't do shit with it. Didn't like have you staring at it or nothing. Like, you would go chill with your friends, and then like everyone would take their phone out of their pocket and like chuck it in the grass while you're like playing basketball or football or
Yeah.
fucking just running around smacking each other in the head.
Yeah,
or
there's no
something.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No.
I find the way that people have like made personalities on social media to be kind of like superficial and like cheesy in a way. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, like for me, I just act the way that I act in person.
Same.
But like, you know, if that shit never existed and then it just like it came out like tomorrow or like it came out today and people like were just developing their shit, like I feel like they would be more real with it. But because it's been around for a while now, they've had time to like figure out who they want to be, and it's just
Yeah.
like it adds like a weird element to like just seeing people like I don't see you on a regular basis, but like I felt like fine enough to be like, yo, do you want to be on the show? Like I know the way that you are, and like there's no bullshit associated. Same thing with Joe, you know, like certain people like I could message and like they might post like cool shit or like throw me a like every once in a while, but like just the way that they act even when they're messaging me or something like that, it just like it doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel authentic or whatever. And like I don't know, I think back to like when I was in middle school or high school, and the way like people were like was just more like genuine, you know, like you felt like you had like more like real connections by talking to people, and like even texting felt like more exciting. Like now it's like all this shit just doesn't even matter anymore.
Nah,
you know, like
for real.
it's just to like fill the space. Like, you know, people like will text you and you're just like, I don't even give a fuck to answer that. You know,
Yeah.
like the fact that like that even comes to my brain, it just like I feel like kind of spoiled in a way, you know, and it's just like that's makes me want to like separate from that whole like, you know, using my phone like at all. Like I just kind of want to like put it away for a while.
I do
Yeah,
different.
for sure.
Anything that's fake on my feed or Instagram or whatever, I unfollow it immediately.
too.
My whole thing is only positive things, art, you know, things that I'm like probably interested in, things like about comic books, like the Avengers, that type of thing. If it's not like that, someone starts coming in, oh my God, I can't believe, I'm like, ugh, unfollow that. Like
fuck
that's not what I'm here for. Like,
Exactly.
Or like if people don't talk to me regularly, if I unfollow them, and I'd be like, dude, you talked to me like once, and like, I mean, you're not, you know, no offense, but again, my Instagram and shit like that, it's for music shit, really, you know, it's and like chilling and like, that's it. Like, if I didn't do music, I'd probably have zero social media, honestly, because it's just like the fuck what I do, you know, like, or not just music in general. I mean, like something that benefited, because that's the thing people forget too. Like, shit, as a musician, someone close, podcast wouldn't even fucking exist like without social media, you know, like we take that for granted in a way too. Like having this shit exist and like the internet in general allows us to do so much more without, I mean, you still have to do a lot of work, but it's different. Like I don't have to go on a fucking 2-month tour playing for one person everywhere just to get a few people who like my music, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I could just fucking promote it on fucking any website, YouTube, whatever. I can DM somebody if I had money or some shit and just be like, hey, can you make a video with, like, my fucking song in it? And be like, yeah, here, pay me this. It's like, all right, you know, there you go.
Yeah.
You know, you can,
You
if you
get
had
anything.
money, be like, hey, you wear my clothes, I'll send you clothes in, like, $1,000. Be like, all right, fuck it.
Yeah.
You know, like, back then, like, you'd have to hit up all these, like, trade shows and shit and, like, all this different, send up, like, more vending, like, type shit at different types of festivals or whatever the fuck, like,
I don't
just
know
to
if you've
do
ever
it.
seen Fiverr, the app, but there's an app where you can
Yeah.
pay someone $5 to do almost anything.
Yeah,
Like
I've heard of that for sure.
make a CD, like do a
Yeah.
mock-up of like an image or something, convert something to vector files, like whatever it is, they'll just do it for almost $5 or 5 to 10. Like some amateur person who's just trying to get out there and make a
Yeah.
quick buck that's probably better at it than charging 5 to 10
what I'm
bucks, but they're
saying.
just like bored.
Fucking
crazy.
internet, dude. It is crazy, but, like,
And
yeah.
this is shit that, like, you know, we would have never expected either, as far as, like, you know, when we had those brick phones or whatever, like. that you
Right,
could
it's so
fucking
funny when I
find
see that meme that talks about teachers telling you, well, you're not gonna have a calculator in your pocket.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
bam! Like I wish I knew this. Like,
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah.
You would have totally said
I would have ripped you apart back then if I knew phones were coming out.
Exactly.
calculator. Or even just
Yes, I will.
Fuck yeah.
That, a satellite, everything.
Right, dude?
I know, right? That's what
GPS, baby.
Right
The
on
watch
there.
right here.
Exactly.
Got the
I
answer
mean,
to my
you
Apple
can use
Watch.
I can look at this shit and it can guide me on foot across the entire country. You know,
Yeah.
like, no, you go to fucking MapQuest and print out like an encyclopedia
I
of
remember
fucking
printing out
shit
MapQuest.
to like walk somewhere. But even with like that math shit though, like it's kind of off subject, but fuck like the having a calculator. I remember like saying to my math teacher, it was like, yo, listen, like, I'm not gonna have a calculator in my pocket, whatever, but my parents can't help me with this shit, which makes me think that I don't need to know it. 'Cause my parents are working people who are making a good living doing what they do, and they have no fucking idea what the fuck this is. Nor did they even learn it in school. So, like, where did this come in that you were just like, I think kids need to know this? Like, fucking, like, sine, cosine shit. It's like, yo, if I'm going to do some shit that needs that, I'll learn it in, like,
Yeah,
college. When I
exactly.
choose to learn it. But, like, you're going to fail me and, like, fuck my shit up just because,
You
like,
don't usually use that.
I don't even know what the fuck it is.
I
Like,
use
what
sine
is that,
every day,
triangles?
bro. I'm
Like,
a tangent man myself.
all right. Sine, cosine, tan. Oh, that tan button. Bro.
Yeah.
That tan.
Right?
Fucking isosceles triangle or some shit. Like, all right.
This shit's only come about, not Pythagorean theorem or whatever the fuck that is, but geography or not geography.
Geometry?
Geometry, whatever the fuck it is. Geography is not that. I mean, like, that only developed in like a short period of time, though. I mean, like, what's to come in the next, you know,
Dude, who knows?
10, 20 years, you know? I know Rogan was talking about that on one of his podcasts recently, like about the Teslas and like how the one goes like 127 miles an hour and like just like
The self-driving cars?
yeah. I mean, like
I can't wait for that.
that shit's just
Same.
like it's. I would have never thought that as a kid that like
Taking that.
that shit is like that close to now. I mean, but again, like if social media and all these other things have come about in such a short period of time, like I'm constantly thinking about what's gonna happen in the next 10 years.
Dude,
you know?
I mean, think about too when our parents were our age and it was just like looking at what it is now. Or like, I remember my grandma passed away like last year. She was 97, and I was like, she fucking saw, like, I don't know if we talked about that when Sal was here last time, but like, Lucid. But I talked to him about it too. I was like, dude, like somebody like that, like that would blow my mind if I lived to be like close to 100 to see what the fuck might develop from now until then. I'm gonna be like my head might explode. Like,
Yeah.
going from
I
like,
hope I do.
right? Me too.
I can't wait to see
If the
what
Earth
we
is
got by
even
then.
fucking here, we might have to be like living on the moon or some shit.
Yeah.
But, like,
We will if we need to.
yeah, we're already, what did they say, 2024 or some shit?
Yeah.
They're gonna be like making laboratories on the moon to talk about trying to get to Mars. Like, the fuck? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
It
Like,
takes like
Wow.
6 months to get there or some shit like that, or 9
Whatever,
months
dude.
or something like that.
it's just insane that we even talk about it. It's
I
like,
know.
hey,
I just like shit like that. Like blows my
we
mind
might live on
because
the moon.
who would have thought that social media would have been what it is, and like now everyone like is constantly on there trying to rep their own shit,
Yeah.
or you know.
Starting with like that AIM in MySpace, like as the simple 2 things you got. I miss that though. But like, I think MySpace was worse with like, well, nah, it definitely wasn't. I was gonna say with fake personas, because there was so much like scene kid type shit going on where people seemed like the coolest, whatever, and you meet them in real life and it's like, not only are you not that cool, but you're also way uglier.
Yeah.
No offense to anybody that was.
That's kind of what I'm saying. Though. Like
kid.
you
thing.
meet someone online that you think is one way. That's kind of what I was saying. Like I don't continuously follow these people. Once I find out how they really are,
Yeah, then that's it. Then they get the
off
axe.
with them. But I mean, like a lot of people end up actually being cool. Like I see Fish a lot, and like I'll meet people on Instagram first that'd be like, "Yo, like, you know, you post cool shit," or like, "Let's meet up at a show," or you know, it's just anything. I don't know something in particular, but
I've seen a few Fish shows. From my experience, Fish fans are like a cool group
yeah,
of people.
I mean, like, but
they seem
occasionally,
relatively chill.
occasionally you'll come across someone who like seems like they're cool on Instagram, and then like I met one of these kids at a show and like smoked him out or something like that, and then he like stole a bunch of my shit,
Oh,
and it's just
damn.
like
That's fucked.
That's
like
trash.
that's something that you would never know unless you
Yeah.
have that person kind of person to person you know, relationship or experience or whatever you want to call it, you know. So I mean, like,
That's the type of story I hate to hear.
yeah,
I
but
hate that
social
there's
media is such a
people doing
front
that
in
the
that
world.
sense, you know. I mean, like, you can pretend to be someone that you're not, and I mean, like, there's not enough time to see what you're actually up to and like how you're acting in real life. That it's really it's a fantasy world in that sense, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I can any way I want to be, you know. Like, not that I'm gonna predict that I'm gonna get a shit ton of likes or like people are gonna actually like my post, but like certain things, if I think like, all right, well, that's not cool, like I should act like this person, like I feel like that is an easy way out, and it's also, again, it's just corny because you're not being
Yeah,
you,
I think what
you know?
you're saying though, like eventually, like real will recognize real kind of thing.
That-
so
that's
if
my-
you start doing that, you know, it's gonna show. Like you know, like. This is another one of those Gary Vee things. My bad for fucking him. I think he's a cool
definitely.
dude, but he always says like the authenticity bleeds through, like, and that's what people latch onto. Like I don't know how, you know what I mean? I don't know if it's just like a human like psychology thing or it's like a sixth sense kind of thing, but that people just like when there's something real and raw going on that's coming from your heart and that's your authentic human story, people are gonna react to that positively, just subconsciously somehow without maybe even understanding why they love that, but it's because it's real and raw and authentic. And if you're just doing what someone else is doing for the likes, you might even get the likes, but you're not going to build that following of the people that really you would have wanted to follow you for you, that would
Exactly.
stick with you and be your like true fans,
Your
true
ideal
followers,
demographic.
not just a one-time like kind of thing.
Exactly.
A one-like stand.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, one like
That's hilarious. I like that a lot, though. That's a really good point. I mean, like, you know, if you're just gonna post stuff to be significant, but not to the people that you actually are trying to reach, what's the point of that?
Yeah.
You know, like again, stuff like that just annoys me with social media because like I feel like it could be a really cool thing, but like the way that it's used a lot of times just kind of like annoys me, and people are just fake, you know, and like just like they are in real life, it's just that much harder to detect it in some senses, you know. And
Yeah.
I mean, like again, you don't have to attribute that negative energy or just time if you don't want to, but
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like if you're a genuine person yourself, you'd be like, all right, well, someone's reaching out to me, like I'll at least reach back and, you know.
You got to
Wish
think
'em well
too,
or
though,
whatever.
like the internet, just as much as it allows people to do that fake ass shit, more and more people now have to be more aware of like what they put out, because it gives you just as much as an opportunity of an opportunity to get fucking exposed.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when people do fake ass shit or grimy shit, like you could have, the dude you talked to on Instagram and then you met him and he stole your shit, you could have just put him on fucking blast and be like, yo, at whatever the fuck, like this dude's a piece of shit, he stole all my shit, you know? Like,
Yeah.
and then like if people caught wind and then like even his friends or other people he was kind of chill with, they meet him, it's like, nah, dude. And then he might have to stop and think like, damn, I shouldn't have stole that dude's shit. Like, maybe I should stop being a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know? Like, but that's even the thing, like with all that stuff, like, you know, it sucks that it took that long and like people turned, you know, the other way for so long with like all the Me Too stuff and all that. Like, and just any type of abuse and shit, but like with the internet now, to like document all that shit and put shit on blast, and even if you still want to be a piece of shit, like you have to also worry about now like people saying like, let's hack that guy's fucking bank or some shit, you know, like
Yeah.
anything can happen. Like even if you don't want to change for the better, like you still got to look out, because everything could be exposed about you, and like it just doesn't pay off to like be a shitty person.
Yeah.
Like in this day and age, especially because anybody can like get at you.
And they might not even let you know that they're, you know,
No.
feeling any type of way towards you.
Hell
Just
no,
like,
dude.
let me just fuck
Snakes,
these guys
man.
up. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, again, that's the power of social media. My point was going back to that dude. Like he had the ability to change his Instagram ID or whatever.
Yeah.
And he did that shortly after that show that I met him at.
Yeah.
And I didn't even really have the opportunity to be like, all right, this dude at this point in time, because everyone recognized him as his old Instagram thing.
Yeah, he changed it.
And like,
He's a professional, bro.
yeah, well, I mean,
But like then think
He
like
does this for a career.
you have your messages
criminal.
though, or like anything you tagged in, like you can always find that shit.
I
and
know.
Be like,
Hey, you know what? I just
not saying I would do the same thing as you. I wouldn't expose them. I'm
I
just
dropped
saying,
it.
like,
You know,
if you wanted
I was
to.
like, he'll get his, but at
Yeah.
the same point in time, like,
Universe will come back around. though.
exactly, yeah,
social media just has its good sides to it, blowing people's spot up.
Yeah.
But then it also has its other disadvantages where people are able to creep away without. I mean,
Yeah.
like, especially like the people that you come in contact with. Like, if someone like us, like, I don't know if Ian would blow their spot up, but like, for me, like,
Maybe not. I don't know.
I just like, even if he didn't change his name, yeah.
Sets up my food on the day, I guess.
Exactly. That's kind of how it is too. But I feel like in that sense, like it just was gonna come back to haunt me if I like had to get even with this guy.
Nah,
Right.
yeah.
I was
Yeah,
like,
you don't
fuck
want to get into
It's
things
good,
with
yeah.
people.
Fuck
What
this
if he
dude.
retaliates, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey,
just not worth. Like, what did he steal? Anything like crazy valuable? From
just
you or
money
some shit?
and bud.
Yeah,
But,
like,
I mean, like,
again, it's just take it. You know.
yeah. I mean, like, I feel like maybe the deeper it would have gotten, maybe I would have gotten more pissed off, like if he took my phone or my
Yeah.
wallet
Yeah.
or something like that. But I can live without money like that I
That's
had
what
on
I'm saying,
on
yeah,
my
no.
person, or like, bud, I'll just get more, you know.
Exactly.
But like, you know, this guy has to deal with the fact that like he's being a piece of shit. I mean, like, and the fact that like he was using Instagram to like front as that, like, sure, I've told people that I'm friends with because I know a shit ton of people from the
No,
fish
yeah.
community, but like, not online, because I feel like that's kind of like again coming back to haunt me. Plus, like, I don't want to be that type of person. Like that, I'm just staying real to myself.
Yeah,
and I
dude.
feel like social media kind of like has that, you know, weight to either push you towards like being someone that you're not, and like
Yeah.
get even with
I hear
people
you
and
on that,
whatever
yo,
else.
because he already stole your possessions, and if you keep staying with it, then he's gonna steal your time and your attention, and that's
Yeah.
up to you if he's stealing more
That
from you.
was
And if
exactly-
you're not getting
yeah.
anything back from that, like, yeah, what's the point? I feel like you're probably right. I'd probably fall more on that side. Like, I'm not getting
Definitely.
anything out of putting him on blast. Like,
Nope.
It wasn't even me. Who,
unless I
like,
thought I really could get my stuff back by getting him on blast, then maybe I would. But yeah, if you're not getting anything out of it, then it's not worth it.
Definitely. It wasn't even me that who like had that mindset too, because like that night I was like, fuck this dude, I'm gonna find where he lives, whatever else. But one of my other fish friends was like, nah, dude, like just let it go. Like just let it go. And I'm like, all right, with that hippie shit, like shut up. I'm gonna get even with this dude. But
what
as
would fish do?
Yeah, I know, right? But as the night like progressed, I kind of like let that sink in a little bit, and like it makes sense. I mean, like, you know, more like in the life kind of sense, like I was just like, I don't need that drama, and like, you know, to let this go past a certain point. I just blocked him and like moved on. But
I think that's what Trey Anastasio would have done.
yeah, man. I mean, Fish is actually playing right now in St. Louis, so I got to give them a shout out. But thank you for keeping me sane. But yeah, I mean, like shit like that. Like I like the way moving on. Like I like the way that like certain people use social media, and like musicians in particular, people who have their own type of brand. Like that's the best way to do it, especially like if you're just being normal and like the way that you act. Like there's no bullshit behind it, and it makes like the whole like that brand or whatever more attractive to like want to be a part of, or you know, the music to want to listen to and check out more. You know, I mean, like I've told you multiple times, I'm not big into rap, but because you're a cool dude and like you have a specific like way about your music, it makes me want to keep checking it out and listen to more shit. And you know, I mean, like I'm not gonna lie, some shit I don't particularly like get into, but I messaged you the other day, like this one song, damn dude, that was fucking sick. You know what I mean? Like I think it was called like 1,000 Clouds or something like that.
100 Clouds, But that's the thing, you know, that's another thing for people that do music or anything. Like you also have to get like people could still fuck with you and like be proud of what you do and like you as a person, but you can't get down if people don't like your shit, you know? Like because that's what I think. I used to get down and be like, why does this person like my shit? What the fuck? Like, I think it's pretty good. It's like, but then in the same sense, it's like, you look at shit that somebody else is doing, it's like, well, do you like everything they like? And it's like, nah, actually, I don't. You know? So there you go. Like, that's it. It doesn't mean they hate you. They just not their fucking thing, dude. Like, and again, like, that doesn't mean that they still can't be cool with you or some shit, or like support you, or like tell their friends who do like rap, like, hey, you know, I know you like rap a lot. Check this guy out. You know, same shit. Like, that's what I do. If I'm not into somebody's shit necessarily, like, I'll be like, well, I know some people who are, so, and this person's cool, so I'm just going to be like, yeah, check out this dude, you know, like.
Exactly. I mean, and the same thing could be attributed to the clothing.
Yeah,
you know?
no,
I mean,
exactly.
Like, someone might be like, I don't know if I can rock that, but like, yo, like, I know someone that might, you know, that would definitely, like, you know, check that out and buy some shit and rock that and promote the brand. You know what I mean? Like, those are the type of people that you want to surround yourself with, but also like you don't want to force something upon someone if they don't like it. Like,
fuck it.
Exactly. Like you don't feel that like achieving like factor if you force it on someone. If they came to you and said, yo, I love your clothing, or yo, I love your music, like that's gonna feel that so much more fulfilling than, you know, forcing it on someone.
Hell yeah, dude.
I don't know where I was necessarily going with that, but just social media is just a crazy thing. So I feel like we always end up on that in some sense.
It's a big part of people's shit, you know. Like,
but yeah, no, I mean, people just need to learn to live outside of social media and not take it for the gram or whatever else. You know what I mean? Like,
and it's harder to teach that to people that grow up with it. Like with us, we didn't grow up with it, so like, I mean, again, we still use social media a lot, but as long as we pay attention, you know, like I find myself, it's more easy for me to whatever, like thinking again back to the days like chilling with Phil and stuff, and like we would skate around or go to a show and shit. Like that's still in my brain, like how fun that was and how much I learned from those experiences that you can't learn from just staring at your fucking phone, you know, like that it makes me be like, all right, well, I'm going to do this and just enjoy it. And like, you know, obviously now, because back in the day, you kind of wish you had some pictures and shit, but you weren't going to lug around a fucking digital camera and then plug it into your shit and like, oh, which pictures I like, you know? So like, obviously if I'm doing something cool, I'm going to snap a video or a picture, but just remind yourself of like, okay, phone back in the pocket now for the rest of the time. Let me talk to the people, you know? People know what I'm doing. I don't need to be calling, texting anybody. I don't need to be updating my Instagram every 3 seconds, you know? But then in the sense though too, it comes like Grimfest was like fun, but what do you want to do? You want to have more Grimfest, you know, in LA, New York, wherever the fuck we go. So what are you going to do? You kind of need to whip out the phone, take the videos, put it on Instagram. People see everyone having fun. They're like, fuck, I want to go, you know, like,
Yeah.
which is another thing too. Like, you know, back in the day when we would just be skating or whatever, and you just tell people it's fun, and maybe they'd wait like a week till your fucking Kodak pictures developed and be like, oh shit, that's what I'm missing. It's like, oh yeah, I don't even remember that. It's a fucking week ago, dude. Like,
Yeah.
it was fun though, just come through. Like, it's just way different, like even with shit
It's
like
always
that.
a double-edged sword with the social media. My like poison with it, I think, is getting dragged into arguments. Some of them that I thought I was gonna have peacefully or whatever. Some of them that I didn't know I was even getting into. And then like 156 comments later, and I'm just like slamming on my
I'm
keyboard.
not gonna lie, I
like,
definitely
passionately
am there with the popcorn
engaged,
reading
like
comments and shit because I mean, like a lot of the points
because I
that you have to
enjoy a
say-
good debate, and but then sometimes I don't know, I just don't expect where it goes, and then I don't, you know what I mean? You lose sight of like the debate you thought you were gonna have in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's not as civil as you quite wanted it
Of
to
course
be.
not.
No. The people that want to argue the most are usually, it's always like somebody who kind of knows what they're talking about against somebody who's just, they don't care if they're wrong or not. They're just going to keep going. And it's just
That's-
like,
yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Like, this guy's getting mad. I'm winning right now. I've done that before, not online. Actually, more in person. It's like, I'm wrong, but like, you're wrong. Fuck you, you know? And it's like, this person's getting so mad
That's how
right
it
now,
goes.
dude. And then you win, you know?
Right.
Like, so the people that you're
Nobody
trying to
wins.
smack sense into, it's like, no, it ain't gonna work, dude.
That's why
I don't
Facebook
argue.
is so like.
I have to pull myself out of that constantly.
Controversial
Like, stop
worst.
that.
Yeah.
Facebook's the worst.
Stop doing that, Ian.
Yeah.
Cut it out.
Yeah, I mean, your page in particular, I've seen you post some like, you know, maybe CNN or I'm just using CNN as
Yeah.
an example. If you don't watch that or whatever,
I don't even know. I don't watch any of it
any specific
consistently,
news
but I
source
follow all the.
with a headline maybe biased to some you know, platform.
I'll bait them out too. Like I'll put some my nose controversial just thoughts question
Yeah,
mark.
yeah,
like
Yeah.
just fish it out. Let's see.
You
Anyone?
know everybody. Like,
Anyone got thoughts on this?
Oh, well, actually.
But at least you take the time to inform yourself and
I actually do go in
read
there.
about
Yeah,
it
like
before you
having
just, like,
researched.
immediately share having no sense of what it's actually about just because you read a headline. And then it could go on to be something completely different than what you even thought about, you know? Like,
100%. And that's a lot of the time the people I'm arguing with, I get that sense that I hit a point where I'm like, damn, like I thought we both knew what we were talking about. I thought you were going to have supporting arguments.
Yeah.
Now I'm at this point where you're just saying a bunch of things that logically, like maybe there could be an argument, but you're not even saying the version of it that sounds good. And now we're here. It's like, damn.
yeah.
This isn't what I pictured. I pictured you saying the best version of that and then me having counterpoints to that. You're not even making sense though.
Exactly.
If I took your side, I'd do a better job. I even know the points. Like, how do you not know them?
That's kind of why I stay out of that shit too, because
Yeah.
like for me, I'm not so informed on a lot of things
Yeah.
like politically or whatever else, and obviously like everyone should have some sense of what's going on, but I know that it's just going to lead to me getting into some sort of debate or argument, and like if you're into that or if you can
So
like, execute it the way that
I am until it gets like toxic. So I like the debate part. I just don't like when it's like, fuck you, you idiot. And I said that or they said that or someone said
Yeah.
that. And if it was me, I'm like, fuck, why would I do that?
I feel like you
Yeah,
rarely
nah,
do that. though,
Why would
you
I
know?
do that? I
Like,
got triggered.
You
in the
usually
moment.
just lay down
It
like
slipped.
the points.
Usually, yeah.
and-
I've gotten better with it over the
and
years.
light
Like
people up.
years ago, I would just be like, fuck you, motherfucker.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Now,
Same.
now
we've
I'm
done
trying
that.
to be like really like, no, I really am trying to have a debate here. I'm not trying to be so aggressive. Like, you're tricking me into that with all this stuff you're doing, but I really am trying to talk about the facts here. Like,
Exactly. It's just my point, going back to the social media and Facebook and everything, is that like anyone's got the voice, so like anyone can debate
Yeah.
with you, and it doesn't matter how much they're really informed about
Nah.
it. And like that's an issue in my sense, because like I feel like you should have some sort of degree of knowledge about what you're talking about if you are going to be debating specifically.
yeah, my thing, if I'm going to talk about anything like debate-wise, I read the side I agree with, like the best version of I can, and then I read that like debunked or like that counterpoint or that
Yeah.
like, deconstructed or whatever. So I know, okay, well, what's the smartest thing someone could say that
To
they're
hit me
going to say
back.
I'm
Yeah.
wrong? Because I got to debunk that. I got to counterpoint that. I got to be like a step ahead.
Exactly.
And then most people don't do that. And I'm like, nah, I already thought about that.
Well, because people are so set in their ways
that they don't want to even think about the other side.
And I'm like, what about this? And they're like, no, I'm not going to come up with another point.
Exactly. I just think it's crazy too. I mean, I know I'm kind of switching gears a little bit, but like Phil's been gone for like 10 years now, just about 10 years.
Yeah.
He didn't even get to see like cell phones develop with, all this shit that went on. Like, I'm sure he, the last phone that he had was probably either a flip phone or something that didn't have internet or whatever. Like, just in that small period of time, like, you lose a friend, like, and 10 years is a long time, like, you think about it, but really it's not, because, like, it feels like we just lost them, and now all of this development of technology and people interacting in new ways, and
he would have had so much to say about all that shit too.
That's what I'm saying. I knew that he was always well spoken, and exactly. I mean, like, but I kind of I
was always like, this is so crazy. Like, look at that, and it's like, yeah, dude, it is.
I like people that have like an extended, opinion that's actually well thought about, rather than just like, fuck this because I hate it. I mean, like, have some support behind it to why you feel this way. And Phil was always that type of person.
All about the facts, dude. Even though sometimes we would argue, and if one of us was wrong, it would end with like, yeah, well, fuck you, And it's just like, all right, yeah, well, let's just stop now because we're just gonna like get pissed at each other,
Exactly.
But
one of my favorite people on social media, I don't know if you know this guy, Ben Shapiro.
I know who he is. Yeah.
He's a Republican. I don't even agree with the majority of his points. He's just so eloquent that I love watching him, because that's what I always hope for in someone that I don't agree with, is that they say arguments that I'm like, I still don't agree, but I don't even know immediately what to fire back at you, because you are kind of making sense, and still, like, it's not what I think, but that is kind of a good point.
Yeah.
He'll make me be like, oh, that's not a bad point.
That's why
I don't agree with you still, but good job, sir.
Shit like that is why I don't argue at all, because, like, when people try to argue, I'm literally just like, whatever, dude, I don't care. Because I think of shit like that, and I'm like, I'm not ready for that.
Yeah.
Because
he makes you feel like that.
You see him argue with people who would be more on your side with what you believe, because you're like, fuck this guy, he's an asshole.
Yeah.
But then the people that you would agree with are the assholes.
Right.
Like, yeah, well, you have no idea because you're just some fucking privileged guy. And it's like, oh, fuck, don't say that.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I don't want to think this guy is the smarter one because I don't agree with what he's saying.
Right.
But, like,
but
you're
he
making
is a
him
little
look
bit,
smarter. Like, fuck. Don't
and that's why I
argue.
kind of like, I'm like, I don't like you, but you're like kind of making me like you a little bit.
But as well spoken and collected he is, like, in comparison to someone like Alex Jones, who's like...
He's a little different.
He's very entertaining, though.
He's entertaining, but he's all over the place, and his
really
shit is
all over
not...
the place.
It's just... I know that he's like a thought machine, so everything comes to him at the same time, but, like, he's just too hard to follow and to argue.
He's not for the general population.
No.
Yeah.
That's also, I think,
In
part
my
of
opinion.
his internet thing.
I get that. I mean, but just like for me, like at least I can respect someone like Ben Shapiro, who like is
put together.
Yeah, he's a lot more chill and like he's easier to listen to and whatever else. I mean, like obviously things that he says I don't agree with 100%.
Right,
like,
that's how I feel about it.
Someone like Alex Jones, because he comes out like a million miles an hour, it
you can't even take that
annoys
at
me,
face value.
and like.
Yeah.
For that, like I write him off in that sense, and I can't help but do that because the way that he's carrying himself. And I mean, like I feel like that's half the battle. Is like if you're a fucking psycho and then you're spewing all this bullshit, I can't be bothered with you. But if you're like somewhat cool dude putting out like things that I don't necessarily agree with, at least you're somewhat in control and you're backing it with facts rather than just like So,
Double obelisks are coming.
yeah, I mean, I was talking to that.
Hillary Clinton is a demon.
They're turning the frogs gay. Happy Pride Month, by the way.
Yes,
That's true. I'd be proud of
I
that.
actually, if I can plug myself really quick, this upcoming Monday, I'm gonna have the first transgender television talk show host from here, at least. I don't know if there was anyone before her, but born male became female.
Yeah.
She has a show here. She's been doing it since like the early '80s, so she's been on.
That's
for
fucking
a
sick.
Shit long time.
That's a
Congrats.
pioneer. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Congrats.
she's no one like significant as far as like.
Don't tell her that.
Followers.
I mean, she's
She doesn't-
significant.
She makes me like run her whole YouTube page and whatever else, but I mean, like, as far as like to promote Pride Month and whatever else, like, my whole thing is like I don't want people to think that I'm not open to having anyone on here to talk with. And
Yeah.
I mean, like, she's cool, but like, I mean, certain ways that she goes about herself, and I don't give a shit if she hears this or not. But, like, certain ways she goes about handling herself, I mean, could be better, but
Okay.
I take it with a grain of salt, given like all she's been through and whatever else.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
another
it's
thing
tough.
that people don't realize too. Like, someone could be a dick, but like, you don't know them, you know, their whole shit that's going on. Maybe you do. Maybe they're your best friend, but like, if you never met them before,
But even
and, like, you don't
still,
know
like,
what they've been through or
yeah.
whatever else, like, there could be a reason that they're acting the way that they're acting. They've been molded that way.
Yeah, I think the
Like,
saying is hurt people hurt people.
yeah, I mean,
It's-
that's
that's true
a
as
damn
fuck.
good fucking saying. Yeah, I like that a lot. But yeah, I mean, like, I'm looking forward to that because she's somewhat of like a historian. Grew up, born in like the mid '50s or whatever, but just like a lot to say about like the whole growth of like gay rights and
Yeah.
LGBT, just like throughout New York City in the '70s and '80s, and just dealing with people that were, you know,
Piece of shit.
piece of shit.
Yeah.
And she made the best of it, and I mean, like, she's got like the best type of personality in the sense that like nothing bothers her, and she's
Well,
Mental
yeah,
muscle,
I was
baby.
gonna say,
yeah.
it's,
I mean, like, that's
you know,
the way to act.
being through all that, and just people, you know, that have that age difference on us anyway. You know, they're hardened as fuck from all the shit that like life can throw at you, but especially someone like her that definitely had to deal with way more bullshit than a lot of average people because of who they really are and they want to be themselves. Like, you know, that'll make you you have to form that thick ass skin and just be like, yo, fuck y'all, you know, like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my thing. This is me. This is who I am.
Yeah, it's fucking
Yeah,
great.
problem. Fuck you. Like, that's it. You know, it makes you less likely to like, you know, it just makes you, I guess, I mean, because again, I don't know her, but in what you're trying to say, maybe she's like more stubborn or something, like, might come off a certain way. Like,
Definitely.
I know that's how I am with certain shit that has to do with me personally, obviously. Like, if somebody is trying to, like, you know, make me feel a certain way or get me into some shit that I don't care about, it's like, listen, like, you ain't gonna fucking drag me in. Like,
Yeah.
I've been through some shit, and that's what I'm gonna leave it at. Don't get me involved, you know, like, that's it. Like, I'm
Also,
chilling,
if people
doing
been
my
coming
thing.
at you your whole life, I think you develop a mindset of like strike before you get struck.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like that kind of like prison mentality is like if I don't take the big guy down, like someone's gonna be like coming for my ass kind of
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
Like,
literally.
That's definitely, you know, true in a lot of, you know, people, I guess.
doesn't mean you got to put up with it, but just, you know, it's a mental factor to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be something they're going, that might be why. Like,
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, like, and, you know, I guess you could say that about her in some sense, but I mean, like, at the same point in time, once you get to, like, everyone deserves their equal chance, and once you actually get to know her, she's actually really cool,
That's awesome.
and that was my point. I mean,
Yeah.
like, based upon the first time I met her, and I kind of thought that she was a pain in the ass, like, not even because of anything that she is, but, like, just the way that she was, like, acting.
just as a person.
She's just, I mean, like, she's her, and she doesn't change for anybody. And, like, I just, at first, it annoyed me because she was kind of being bitchy. But now that I know her, I appreciate that because she doesn't change for anyone or
Again,
whatever.
being
And,
real as
that's
fuck.
fucking
You'd
cool.
rather
you know
that.
what I mean? Like, that, yeah, exactly.
You'd
like, I
rather
know,
than be real as
I know
fuck.
what to expect every single time now. And, I mean, like,
Yeah.
she asked me, like, yo, can I be on your podcast? Because I think that's cool that you're doing that. And, like, I want to promote, you know, my show and my shit and what I've done and whatever else. And, you know, I was just like, hell yeah. I mean, like, I don't have any, like, limit of who I would have on here.
Yeah.
She was trying to say, like, oh, what are you afraid to have, like, a transgender person on your show? I'm like, hell no.
All right, no way.
Why would you even say that, you know? But
some people are though. That's why.
Yeah,
like,
some people,
you know, and I
yeah.
bet
But
that
she was
that's something
expecting
that's
me to
been
say
encountered.
that, like, nah, I'm not going to have you on. Like, I was just like, hell yeah, you're definitely going to be on.
But I bet it wouldn't even be the first time, you know, she heard that. Or maybe it would, but that you know what I mean? That wouldn't be surprising to me if she had heard that from other people. Like,
Definitely.
nah,
yeah,
like, I'm not.
Yeah, no,
I
especially,
mean, and I totally get that too.
And I feel the same way too. Like, why the fuck not? But
Yeah.
that, you know, that might not be everybody, or might not have been everybody, especially in the past.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess because I'm trying to practice that, like, you know, be who I am, or I'm just so accustomed to it. I'm not trying to be someone else, but I'm saying, like, because I'm so set in my ways, I kind of just felt like she was just being, like, you know, extra. But now I get, like, all right, well, again, she's been through some shit, and maybe not everyone's been as humble and whatever else as I'm trying to be towards her,
Exactly.
as well as everyone else.
Yeah.
So just thought that was cool, and I'm looking forward to that. So
hell yeah.
that's gonna
be dope.
a cool thing. Just trying to expand my own horizons as far as like getting different guests on here and
Yeah.
learning about what people are up to and how they kind of like view different things. So
It's good though to do that. You want to get, you know, points of view from all different types of people and who have been through all different types of shit, because like, you know, not everybody sees everything the same way, and it helps more. Like, one thing I always tell people when they're feeling any, you know, type of way about some shit, I'm like, just kind of like, even in the worst situations, I'm like, all right, like, it sucks, but kind of just put yourself in the other person's shoes, you know, like, because you have to realize, like, even when people do bad things, they're not necessarily looking at it in the way you think, you know? Like,
Exactly.
look at their, you know, learn about them, their background, what they've been through, and then kind of like, you kind of understand, like, okay, you know what? Actually, if I went through that, I might have did the same thing, you know? Like, because a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people don't, like, practice empathy or, like, you know, looking at things from more than one point of view.
That's big, yo. I wish empathy was cooler.
Yeah, dude.
Like, you know, like as like an action movie type cool, like, but empathy was cool
Yeah.
like that. Like, I don't know how you make empathy
would
that cool,
change
but I
so
just
much
wish it was
shit.
part of it.
Yeah, that would change so, like
Like, at
people
some
would
point,
be
I think
so
being
different.
mean got cool. Like, I don't know in what
no,
movie or
yeah,
like in a
dude.
string of movies being mean was cool for a while, and I think
like,
now
he's
it's
a
like
dick, he
calming
don't give a
down.
fuck. Yeah.
Right. I think it's less though. I think now people are like, no, being mean's kind of fucked up.
Yeah,
But
it's
it's not
whack.
where that. It's like, you know what? Being mean's fucked up, and also empathy is the coolest fucking thing,
It
bro.
is.
The most empathetic dude. That dude's fucking sick.
Yeah.
Like. Why though? Like, how do we get it to be
That
like that?
needs
Like,
to
if
be a
that was
thing.
the ideal, like, all this other stuff would kind of fizzle out, I think, like, because everyone would be on that goal, and then gradually people would be less, you know, hard up or like frustrated because everyone has that same, all right, well, let me try to understand him, let me try to understand her, or whatever, and it just loosens everybody up. But like, you just got to push that big. That's why I do
needs
the
to be
thing
a
with the
thing.
post with my social media, like, because I want the world to be that way, and I can't do nothing, so I'm at least gonna chip, just one post at a time if that's what
It's
I can
working,
do.
though, because
Like,
Yeah.
try to spread that.
it definitely
vibe.
rubs off on me, and I'm sure other people.
Hell yeah.
You know, like, not that I'm like, you know, posting about that shit too, but like, I take that message and like practice it in what I'm saying. It's a good reminder, and I mean,
Fuck
like,
yeah.
you have that platform, why not put it out there? Man, if I could go back to high school and have, you know, more, you know, empathy towards how I acted. I feel like I wasn't the coolest kid or whatever, but people were just mean, you know? I mean, like,
I was mean.
I
There
mean,
was
like,
a lot
I
of
was
times when
mean
I was
too.
mean.
but like, I was
People were
addicted-
mean to me, and I was also mean.
I was just about to say that.
Hurt
I mean,
people hurt people, bro.
I was
When you
literally
said
just
time
about
you
to-
said that, I was like,
That's
That's
my
what
I was
underlying
hurt,
message
and I
of
was
this
hurting,
podcast
and I
is
was
that,
hurting.
like,
Hurting
you know,
inward, hurting outward.
yeah.
people who, you know, I like myself, I wasn't popular, so like for that sense, like people that were popular might have been mean to me, and then like people who I thought I was better than or whatever. Now I look back, I'm like, "Pfft, you weren't better than fucking nobody. You know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, like I like I'll always think back to like, damn, like I wish that like I was this type of person in high school, and then I remember like, nah, fuck that. I'm glad who I was. No regrets. Like those people, you know, were the assholes, and like,
Yeah.
beyond that, I mean, like I know it's easy to make excuses, but at the same point in time, like, should always live your life without regrets, and like,
I'm with that.
especially like in that sense, like high school, like I was a lot more immature, so like I can't necessarily answer for every way I acted at that point in time, but like you are who you are now, so fucking, you know, what better time to like better yourself, and you know, if you want to be cooler, fucking be cooler, you
Yeah.
know. Beyond
That's
that,
how you learn sometimes. It's
exactly,
fucking up.
exactly. So
You got it, yeah.
Yeah.
that shit just, you know, kind of like comes back to me in some sense, but at the same point in time, you just have to keep like pushing back and remembering who you really are, and it's just a constant battle,
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I think a lot, and like that's another thing too. You kind of like can beat yourself up if you overthink things. So I mean,
You guys know the two wolves Indian meme thing?
Yeah.
No?
I probably
You know,
do.
you might not.
I
It
do.
basically, real quick rundown, super simplified, but there's, an Indian, he's telling his grandkids a story about like himself or something like that. And he's like, in each of us, there's two wolves. There's like a light wolf that, focuses on peace, love, empathy, all that. Then there's like this like dark wolf that focuses on like hate, destruction, whatever, and they fight each other like every day or whatever. And the kid is like, oh my God, Grandpa, that's crazy. Like, who's gonna win? And he's like, it's obvious. It's the one I feed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're the one feeding either of those wolves, but everybody's got those two wolves. Like,
What is
Yeah.
that from? That's from
I
like
have
a
no
movie
idea.
or something too.
I saw I saw it on social media.
Yeah, I just brought it up.
Speaking of,
Yeah.
Instagram or
Dean
Facebook or
Young.
somewhere.
I feel like I saw
The
that.
fight of two wolves within you.
Who's got it?
Dean Young.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, like I've definitely seen this before. Now that you mentioned that, and I mean, it's true. I mean, you're the controller of your own, fate, and not fate, but like the way that you're gonna handle yourself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you want to be,
It's
a
hard.
negative
anyway,
person.
though. Yeah.
keep doing whatever the fuck you're doing. If not, you want to be positive. Be positive.
It's like
Yeah.
that other quote, life is 10% what happens, 90% how you react.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely.
I saw all these on my feed
And
somewhere.
like people have to remember though too, because like sometimes people will tell me, again, because I do have like a positive message with my music and like other shit, like telling people not to give up and shit. But they'll be like, yo, I keep trying, it's like not working. And it's like, you also have to realize, like, again, it takes time, and like human beings are just like, we're like perfectly imperfect. Like we
Yeah.
just, it's not as easy as just saying like, I'm gonna be positive. I click, I'm positive now. Like, hell yeah, everything's great. Fuck yeah. Like, no, dude, like you can still go saying that and like trip over your own fucking feet and land on your face and be like, oh, I fucking hate my life. Like,
Yeah.
exactly.
you just have to like train yourself and constantly,
Kick yourself back in the line.
Yeah, and especially if you overthink, you have to use that in a way kind of to an advantage. Like overthink about different things. Like just like, okay, so like my brain kind of just like won't fucking stop. So maybe I should just make it like think about certain things more than others, like again, like especially if you have anxiety and shit like that, it's like instead of just thinking like I feel like shit today's gonna be like fucking garbage, or like, oh, there's a lot of people, whatever makes you, feel like shit. It's like just think like, yeah, but I'm chilling. Like I'll feel good actually. If I really think about it, this has nothing to do with me. Like everything around me, I'm kind of just still in my own little vessel here, like doing my thing. Like fuck it, like just relax. Chill,
I've done
go
like
forward,
crazy shit to try to force myself into that mindset because I'm that overthinker. Like
Yeah,
mine
same.
never goes off thinking about weird, wild, crazy shit.
Yeah,
exactly.
And then if it goes dark, it's like a negative spiral. Like I think one time I wrote the word like peace like 258 times or something just
Yeah.
on a piece of paper because I was just like in a tweaking mood where I did not feel at peace.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm wired right now, and unless I completely direct this in 180 degrees the other direction, I'm just gonna keep going in this dark spiral. And I just wrote the same word like just to keep my mind off other shit. And by the end of like 200 or like 3 pages or whatever I wrote, I was kind of like, all right, I think I'm like
I'm
still
chilling,
thinking about
yeah.
that same exact thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I kind of like bursted some energy out. This actually looks super dope. I was like looking back and forth like at the way I wrote it, like the
Yeah.
spaces in between the words. I like kind of had good handwriting. Some of them I didn't. I was like, oh, I wonder what happened here. Like
Yeah,
started
that's-
analyzing it. Bam, I was in another place.
I was gonna say you just refocus
Yeah.
that
I was just about to
overthinking
say
to
that.
something else. Like that's it.
Rather than you're not allowed to not. It's not like you're not allowed to have a negative feeling about
No,
things.
it's
just
human.
Use it
the
as
way
fuel.
that you focused with it. I mean,
I
like
had
that.
plenty of negative thoughts.
Yeah.
They didn't go away. They get channeled though.
Yeah, no, I mean,
something
like,
else.
but a lot of people don't, like you're saying about self-awareness, like people don't realize that you can, focus your energies to a certain, angle and
Yeah.
and move that way with it as opposed to keep beating yourself up about the same thing and staying in a cycle. I mean, like, I've been guilty of that. Like, I'm not gonna.
I think everyone has.
I'm not gonna say what the instance is, but I mean, like, you know, with like an ex-girlfriend or whatever, like, you just think about like what could you have done right or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
that's the worst. I've done some of my most shameful, embarrassing things because it's something with a girl that I.
That's what I'm saying.
I overthought, or I was trying to do something, make something happen that was unrealistic, or who knows. Like.
Exactly. I'm always like, yo, like it's been over for so long. Why the fuck are you still thinking about this?
What is going on?
It's just certain aspects of life.
I can relate to that though.
Certain aspects of life that have those type of impacts on you that it's not as easy as just saying like, yo, I'm just gonna be all right. You know, like you were saying. Like,
but no, you just do gotta like pound it though. Like you have to like fucking just like every day. You know, like again, like years and still, you know, I still deal with like, again, like you said, there's still negative thoughts and shit there, but like you do find that as time goes on, like you can drift away from it a little easier. You know, and I don't mean like in a week I mean like in years. As years go by and you keep trying to pound that in, like slowly you'll start to see like, okay, like I felt like shit for a little less time today, you know, because when you just pay attention and remind yourself like, okay, like this is the good shit happening actually right now. Like, you know, like the bigger, especially when it's like the bigger picture of shit. Like, you know, like one thing that I get like fucked up with sometimes is like when I go on a plane, I don't care about like a lot of normal shit people care about, you know, like I don't care about crashing or nothing like that. I don't give a fuck. Like sometimes there's turbulence, people think, you know, whatever. I'm thinking like I'm nauseous, I really don't want to throw up. Like, it's like if crashing is going to make me not be nauseous, then fucking crash. Like shit, get it over with, bro. That's
one way to do it.
But you know, like then when you stop and think like, you know, again, like I'll be sitting there and I'll just be thinking like, okay, because like if anything, I just want like that. You know, crack a window and just suck in some fresh air because I feel like, you know, stuffed in. But then you just think like, well, no, there's a lot of space. I feel like, you know, you turn a little thing. Oh, you've never been on a plane.
Yeah, that's...
Well, you turn a little thing.
Really?
I probably have said that on every single podcast just because it's always been like different
brought up.
guests.
But you know, like that's a little cold air. You turn a little nozzle.
If I'm in an Uber, I feel that way sometimes, and I'm just like, yo, I don't know who the fuck this driver is. Like, I don't know if I want to fucking talk to this guy. Like, just channel my like, yo, you're
just
fine.
Chilling. Yeah, you're just just get into yourself a little bit. And just
exactly.
Be like,
wait, I gotta ask. Never been on a plane because you intentionally avoid planes, or haven't just happened to have been on one yet?
People don't believe that I just haven't gotten around to getting on a plane.
But that's what it is.
I really haven't. I mean, like, I've been out to California.
Like, I didn't know if there was a story.
I did a road trip out to California, so it's not like I haven't seen cool places, but I'm more for
road trip to
more for the experience than to just fly somewhere and get it over with. I mean, like, sure, movies that like, you know, flights have gone down and shit. It doesn't help. Yeah. I even have dreams like
it's alright though.
Really, it kind of sucks flying. Like,
I just don't like the whole thing of it. Like the whole experience is just like
the whole
annoying.
Experience sucks.
Yeah.
Well, just I mean, again, I haven't been through it, but just seeing what people have to go through also pushes me away from wanting to do that. I
parts of it, I guess, are
so
alright,
like I like to be able to bring shit with me and whatever, and like it's not a lot of.
Well, you don't have to.
Legal states are popping up, but like, but when I did my road trip, it was only California and Colorado, so it was like we wanted to be able to smoke on the way there and whatever else. That's beyond the point. I like the experience of things, and
I do too. I
mean, I feel like that's part of like living your life too, not just getting it over with. Like, I like the one quote: "The journey is the destination." You know what I mean? Like
that's big.
That's
Gerald
awesome,
said that
you
on
know?
Hey Arnold.
I always remember it.
Gerald.
Nice.
I mean, a lot of people said it, but he said
he's one of those people.
He said.
I think Tommy Chong said it on that 70s show also.
You go then.
I always remember, journey is the destination, man.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing, though, about not caring how many likes you have, you know?
Yeah.
Because the likes are like a destination thing, and it's not about that. It's about making the video.
Exactly. It's the same thing with this podcast. I mean, like, I don't have a lot of viewership, but, like, I keep telling myself, like, yo, it's not even about you. It's about, like, giving your guest exposure, doing something fun for yourself. You know, trying new things. You know, I'm not great on camera, so I'm trying to like, you know, loosen up a little bit more. But it's just like, just putting yourself in that positive mindset, and beyond that, just like channeling it to find different things to rather than just sitting around. If I just sit around and stay in one space, if I'm at my house just doing nothing, I'm gonna start thinking negative thoughts and like that negative energy is going to build up. If I don't have the time to, do that and sit around, then it's not going to have the opportunity to develop.
Yeah.
Exercising, I always talk about this too. That shit always gets my negative energy out because
that's that old idle hands are the devil's tools thing.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I've been guilty of that because I remember I didn't have a lot of friends in high school, so if I didn't have plans, I'd be sitting in my room on my fucking PSP or some shit, and then I'd be like, this sucks. Why don't I have more friends? Why is this? Why is that? And it's just shut up, dude. Go find something to do. Go play basketball or something. So, I mean, for that, I try to stay busy to
I think a
be
big
negative,
part of it, too, is, redefining happiness. I don't know, if that was ever a point for you, but, I mean, I've struggled. Part of the reason I'm also on this positive stuff is, my parents got divorced when I was 3, and I was suicidal and just negative and depressive and got into a whole mess of stuff. And now I'm very trying not to be that person, be positive. So that's part of it.
Yeah.
But at some point there was a redefinition of happiness where I spent a lot of time thinking happiness was a plateau where I was gonna reach happiness, and then I eventually decided that I thought that was ridiculous. Just based on a lot of other perspectives, I was like, wow, that's kind of absurd. So many things could happen from any given moment in life. Happiness is not a plateau. Happiness is this kind of fleeting thing that spikes and surges and you get it in different moments, and you want to maximize that, but that doesn't mean you're gonna have that 90% of the time or all the time, or you're just gonna get there and keep it. You just gotta try to get as much of that as you can. But and I don't even know if that sounds obvious to you guys, but to me, it wasn't obvious that you just want to get as much as you can. It was I would convince myself, even if I had some happiness, that I shouldn't even be happy about it because it wasn't enough, and I wasn't as happy as the happiness I thought I should have had. And
Totally.
I would not be happy because of that.
That's a lot of people's problem, dude. And happiness is not just a thing you get to. It's its own journey. That you said, it goes up and down, and it's just part of everything. It's not there's no one that is ever just gonna be get to a point where you're oh, everything's
right, I'm
great
happy
now.
now.
It's gonna stay great.
Right.
No, everything's gonna bring problems, and again, you have to realize that before you actually find it, because then when you realize that, you do take it again, with the journey. People's journeys taking longer than others, not comparing yourself to shit. You realize, oh, I actually can be happy right now at this little point.
Right.
Again, or when you said you're sitting there saying oh, I don't have friends. Fuck. I would think even now as I'm doing music and shit, and I'm older and none of that shit really matters anymore. All the friends and social life shit. Honestly, it's okay. So, well, I mean, it does matter. You should have a social life. It's unhealthy to be by yourself all the time. But I just mean, in general, I'll be but wait a second. I'm actually happy right now because I'm chilling. You work on music a little. I really don't need to go do a bunch of shit. I'm thinking, I should be doing more to be happy. But, no, doing my thing. And I'm going to appreciate this now because there's going to be a time as my work keeps paying off, I'm going to be, too busy. And I'm going to be wow, I wish I was more happy when I was just laying around on my own time, relaxing, because again, people forget that chasing some fake ass happiness that they have in their mind, and you end up realizing wow, all that time I actually should have just appreciated that, because that is where happiness could have been found, just sometimes doing nothing or being by yourself or just chilling, figuring out what you want to do with your life and just having that time to do that rather than getting constantly bombarded with shit. Or, again, too, to me, I would think because I didn't have a lot of friends either at points, and I would be damn, what the fuck? And then there would be times where too many people were hitting me up and I was damn, I wish I didn't have friends still. Fuck, I just want to relax right now. Stop fucking calling me, stop texting me, whatever the fuck. I'm trying to chill, and like you said, you just gotta realize it's just certain things aren't really gonna be.
Main point though, that
shit.
there's no set specific thing that is happiness.
No.
Everyone's got their own concept, and also
But I definitely don't think
version.
it should be something you expect to have every moment, no matter what it is. I don't think it should be that.
That was what I was getting to also, is that that's something that you were saying, it's a plateau, that it's not a plateau, but people have that concept that it might be because they see people around them that are happy, and social
or
media
seem happy
social
all the
media
time on
doesn't
social
help
media.
that
Yeah.
case because they're only posting things that are positive or not positive.
Some people.
But
Yeah.
I'm using that word loosely, but I'm just like
No, I hear you.
things that are uplifting for themselves
Self-bolstering.
at
Or
least,
they look
you know?
cool or some shit.
Well,
yeah.
exactly. So I mean, like in that sense, if you are not doing well in life, and then you see this person that's constantly, especially that you don't like, if someone
Especially.
is doing like this cool shit, like you're gonna be like pissed off at yourself that you're not at
Yeah.
at this same point in time.
I've had that feeling.
So I mean, like that just it doesn't help anything, and that's kind of why I try to like separate myself from using social media all the time, because myself comparing myself to others, and like that's the first thing. I mean, like find your own happiness,
Yeah.
and don't let anybody get in the way of it. But yeah, I mean that's really something that I'm constantly battling with, even at this point in time where I say, yeah, I've seen this, I've experienced that, and this is what I think I need to do to get to happiness. I guarantee next week I'll have a bad day or something like that.
And then fuck it.
Well, it's more reminding yourself to stay on track and to not let that shit get to you, because it's so easy to forget about this conversation or any of those concepts of just staying true to yourself and not being fake or not wanting fake followers or
Anything,
any of that shit that we talked about. It's just, I mean, it just stay grounded and have your ideal concept. Write peace fucking 250 times if you have
whatever.
to. Whatever it is that gets you to that point. Like I said, exercising for me, I always know that if I'm in a bad mood, especially on the weekends or something like that, I'm by myself all day, I'll go out and ride my bike for like...
That's good for you, like chemically, physically, biologically,
It is.
all that. Like,
it is. I mean, like, especially too, like, rather than just sitting there and smoking and just being whatever, bored or just like high for at least earn your recreation too. I mean, like put some effort in, and that shit will by itself kind of make you a better person, put you on a better track. I mean, like
on that topic, just to throw out, for the past year, a little over a year now, I've walked 5 miles every day without missing a day, just to keep on that like move forward every day, like metaphorically, but I wanted like a physical component to it, so I move forward at least literally 5 miles every day.
That's
That's
amazing.
awesome, dude.
And I've been pretty like hype about it. Like I didn't know how long I was gonna make it. I thought I'd get sick or something in the year, and I did get sick, and I still just got up, and I was like, yo, I have too much momentum. I still have to go 5 miles. I'll rest like when I get home.
Exactly.
But,
Do you feel that
having
gives you
that
more
drive.
energy and shit?
Yeah,
too?
100%.
That's
People get
amazing.
tired. People always talk about getting tired, and I'm like, I did whatever you did, and I also found the time to walk another 5 miles within the span of the day, and like, yeah, it gives you more energy. I think the more you use your body instead of like, use it or lose it kind of thing, where you just get into a habit of like sitting around and then you're more tired.
Yeah.
I just remember like being on the wrestling team, like they would push us to our limits so much that I just fucking hated exercising when it wasn't wrestling
That makes
season.
sense.
But
I used to see you guys wrestling. They like would set up little garbage pails so you guys could throw up from pushing yourselves too hard.
exactly.
Like in the hallways, you would
Fuck
run the
that.
hallways.
But that was the worst. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like, so for that, like, literally drilled in my mind that like exercising sucks, whatever else,
Yeah.
until I got to the like for a while.
That's why I do
like,
walking too, because it's not so like
It's not,
strenuous.
it's not so hard, but you're still getting that exercise.
Yeah.
You're still,
Hell yeah.
you're pushing yourself in some sense. But yeah, I mean, like to the degree that like I was not working out at all, and then I felt like super negative, like towards the beginning of college. Then I started playing racquetball, and I started like feeling better about myself, playing every single day, losing weight, and then I realized like, oh shit, like this is what I'm doing that's making me happier. Like
Yeah.
this is filling the void of like preventing like that negativity in my life. I mean, like I obviously like going out drinking on the weekends is not going to help if you're doing it every single weekend, whatever else. Like that shit's going to get to you too. So I mean, like I cut back on the drinking, but just finding that balance. That's my point. And
One other thing too on the balance, like for me, sometimes I gotta go really far, like the opposite to balance. Like I gotta go into like the dark or in the negative to find perspective and realize like nothing like really bad has like ever happened to me, in the sense that people are child soldiers still
Yeah.
in certain parts of the world. Like people wake up sometimes their parents are like just got slaughtered in front of them. You know, like they only were around for a few years. They're getting handed a gun, and now all of a sudden they gotta like join this army that they didn't really want to be a part of. Like, so I know that's like a crazy thing to think about every day or whatever, or even ever. But sometimes when I'm like, oh man, I'm so pissed about this thing, I just try to force myself to go back to that, like, you know, oh yeah, like I met someone in assembly one time in high school. She was like in Rwanda, and that's the stuff she was talking about, like coming from Rwanda, and like, you know, we watched that movie Hotel Rwanda and saw that horrible shit, and then she was like, yeah, like this kid, you know, like literally parents were dead and had to like join the army and like, you know, made it through and whatever, and it's like, damn, yo, like I don't think, you know, knock on wood, whatever, I don't think anything like that will ever happen to me as far as like I could see the structure of America going. I don't think I'm going to end up, well, obviously I'm not going to end up a child soldier, but I don't think I'm going to end up in an America where
Too
like,
late for that.
right, but I don't think I'm going to live in America where children are just getting handed guns to go off to war. Like I said, knock on wood, you know. You never know.
That's a reason alone.
But thank God, you know what I mean? But that's where I'm at, like on certain days where I'm like, yo, I'm pissed that I don't have enough likes. Yo, I'm pissed that I don't have enough likes. I'm like living America. Dude. I'm saying this from my bed with my iPhone in one hand and my fucking iPad in the other hand and my fucking like 50-inch TV that I'm fucking watching anime on, like, and I'm bitching about like I don't have enough likes. Like, dude, I'm not a child soldier. Like, I'm actually hype. I actually forgot I'm not pissed. I'm super excited and grateful.
I'm gonna go eat some food from my fridge.
Right, like an apple right
water,
now. Whatever I want. As much water as I want, straight from the tap.
I wish there was something like that to fucking tell every single one of us, like every single time. Like,
well, you just gotta tell your side. I mean, that's what I gotta do. Like, I don't always remember, but
I'm not even just saying for me though. Like, I'm not the only unappreciative one that exists. You know, I'm sure other people in this country too. You know, I mean, like, I'm just saying everyone kind of needs to have that awareness that like, yo, your life could be a million times worse. There's people that are dealing with like the worst type of things, and you're just beating yourself up because, like you said.
Yeah, and the woman that was talking about it, that somehow made it out of all that, was just grateful that she got here. Like, she wasn't like, yeah, yo, I can't fucking believe I had to go through that for the like first part of my life. She was just so goddamn grateful, and I'm like, and I'm bitching. I suck.
Exactly.
Like, I got too much pride after that. I'm like, nah, I can't go down like that. I can't be bitching for things like little things that I bitch about if she's like just rocking it over there.
I mean, that's such a great point. But yeah, I mean, like there's just so many elements of like, yo, things could be worse. You know, like, again, that's
they could be so much worse.
Whatever it takes to put yourself in that mindset.
Right, it just like kick starts like or fine, whatever, like, you know, spins you out of it.
I like that though. I'm gonna start using that. That's gonna be part of my motivation. Yeah, I mean, it's getting kind of late. I figure we'd wrap up in another minute or so. Cool. Do you have any other like, you know, quotes or whatever that you might?
Alieninks.com.
We're definitely gonna promote your shit. That was the last thing that I was gonna do. But now that we're on that, fuck the quotes. We'll close with a quote. So again, you said alien eggs?
Inks.
Inks, I-N-K-S.
Yeah, just harkening back to like how I said before, it all started with just like, you know, a pen and ink in the side of my notebook, and then, you know, the printers for the clothes, whatever, use ink too. So alieninks.com.
Okay, hell yeah. And then on Instagram, Alien
Hieroglyphics. Yeah, because that's like the, because Alien Hieroglyphics came first. That's like the style is like, and I'm wearing it right now if you could see, but it's kind of like an alien hieroglyphic type kind of vibe thing. And then when I put it on clothes, that's like the alien inks, like, you know, ink printing, whatever on clothes.
You're going to have to put a little bubble with that Instagram name, because I doubt many people know how to spell hieroglyphics.
That's another reason why the website is Alien Inks. I did some field testing.
It's like
on how people thought about alien hieroglyphics. Yeah, what is that?
What?
Yeah.
The fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
One thing we're blessed with, when I was looking up his thing earlier, all I had to do was type the first like two letters, and it immediately
came up,
suggested hieroglyphic.
Yeah.
And I was like, thank God, because I would have never remembered how to fucking spell. Is it I before E or E before I? But yeah, no, I mean, definitely need people to check that out. Go give his website a view and
buy some shit.
I was gonna say that too. You know, even you know, maybe buy something if you're up to it.
Something you want, you don't see it, let me know. Maybe I'll get it up there.
Yeah.
All right.
Shoot him a message or something.
Hell yeah.
And
what about this guy?
Bearded Legend, Joe.
Same old shit. Phil Official Bearded Legend on Instagram. And I mean, my website's on my Instagram, bleternal.com. You can buy my shit too. I have music and clothes. So yeah, thanks.
There you go. Go spend some money.
Yeah.
Fucking support some cool people. And
Just in general, you know, everyone be a good person. All the shit we talked about was for a reason. We're all trying to be better people.
Yeah.
And much love to Phil. Hopefully he laughed at what we were talking about, even though
I believe he did.
Yeah. we didn't mention as much, but about, you know, all the cool shit that we've done, but you know, keep him in mind every day and fucking, you know, it's glad to have known him. Very thankful.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to also give a shout out to Phil. We miss you, buddy. You know, keep looking over us, and you know, your family is thinking about you, and your friends definitely keeping you in their thoughts. And
hell yeah, everybody misses you, man. Shit.
Yeah, it's not the same here without you, man. Keep spreading that positivity and giving me a reason to not go insane.
Hell yeah.
But that's it. That's all I really have planned for tonight. Thank you guys for coming on.
Yeah,
Thanks for having us, yo.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll see you guys on the next episode. Later.